Greetings to all of you from my country on this Sunday evening. It is almost a quarter to midnight in my country, or 4th of April of the Gregorian year 2021. And in most countries of the world, if I'm not wrong, some kind of celebration is taking place, even on Easter. The Jewish Passover ended in Jerusalem, or Yerushalayim, last night, that is, at late night, or according to some people, the late evening of the 3rd of April of the current year, which happened to be a Saturday. But in various other countries, Passover continued, and perhaps is still continuing, until the very late evening or even late night of today, Sunday, the 4th of April of the current Gregorian year 2021. I remain very grateful to all of you who have been kind enough to send me greetings. I appreciate such greetings from the very core of my heart. Many such greetings were worded, Happy Easter. Yes, it is Easter, and being a Jewish Christian, as I call myself, I believe in the resurrection of the body of the Messiah. And this is one of the main reasons why I'm wearing white today. I even attended a church service at the local cathedral here in Calcutta, in India, not very far from my current residence, from which I'm addressing you live. But the word happy is something that strikes me very strongly, because I cannot and should not be happy in the current situation, when there is so much suffering of so many people in the world. I don't have to go very far. Even in one of my neighboring countries, a brutal regime has been extremely active in carrying out violence against civilians, even those who prefer a democratic government than to a military regime. But this is not the only example. There are too many places in the world where violence is prevailing. Even on this very day, on this very afternoon, on this very evening, at this very night, and perhaps in certain countries, on a newborn or new morning. I cannot pause to ponder whether happiness would be an appropriate word in such a situation. When children are being slaughtered in order to discourage their parents and their grown-up kin to take part in rallies, in peaceful rallies, of course, I mean. Even though those who are taking part in such rallies, such gatherings, are totally defenseless and harmless in the very sense of the true word. To be defenseless, or even the word harmless. It is beyond my imagination. How can human beings be so cruel to destroy innocent children who cannot even distinguish between right and wrong, even what is good for them or bad for them? How can anybody, including those people who have been so cruelly slaughtering those people in those countries, can do so? I do not want to bore you by reiterating what I said time and time again, that I believed and continue to believe that humanity makes us human beings, and true humanity makes us worthy human beings. But where is humanity when we kill innocent children, even babies? Where is humanity when we try to destroy the very future of the infants and the children? Where is humanity when we slaughter the defenseless and the harmless? One may argue, well, those people who are doing are not God-fearing people. But what about flesh and blood, which also make us human beings, at least in the biological sense? Don't these people feel a little, even for the defenseless, the absolutely innocent of the innocents, even the babies and children? How can the world keep so silent? Yes, I remain grateful to the envoy of the United Nations organization, who spoke out quite bravely, indeed, who commands both my admiration and my gratitude, even my honor, by speaking out against injustice. But the United Nations organization itself is plagued by a disease called veto rights by the permanent members of the Security Council. Even if one of them vetoes, the whole matter comes to an end. What an irony. The United Nations organization was created to protect humanity, befitting the very charter of the United Nations, so-called UN Charter. But where is the spirit of that charter? Are those words written only to be considered as simple sketches on papers, or simple, insignificant and meaningless documents? What are the nations of the world doing? How long will they turn their blind eyes towards the reality? Can I be happy on such a day? If I could be, I myself would most certainly fall off humanity. I would be anything other than a true human being. I would be anything other than a person having a heart of flesh and blood. Let alone my fear in my Creator. Let alone my feelings about others. But even by being a simple creature of flesh and blood, How could I tolerate such a thing and be happy at the same time? Even my pets are less cruel than the ones who are carrying out such atrocity against their fellow citizens, the very citizens of their own country, or own countries, as this or such occurrences are not foreign to the world as a whole of our age. This has been perhaps since time immemorial, since the beginning of human history. But how can we sit back today and simply say, wish you happiness, joy, and cheer up when such evil is continuing in our world today? I fail to do so. Yes, I am and I should be ashamed to be a human being of that kind, who would say, it happens only to them, not to us. Are they not part of us? Are we also not members of the United Nations organization? Are they also not our fellow members who are committing such atrocity against their own fellow citizens of their own countries, or country in singular? When are we going to wake up and do something in prevention of such grave, vicious wrong, such evils as I call it? Is that a kind of Easter I could wish myself? If I could, I would not be a human being at all. Notwithstanding, being a Jewish Christian, I crave leave to cover my head and wish you all the blessings of the same Creator who created all of us, and to the best of my comprehension, raised that mighty vector even from the dead, whose resurrection we recall today, even on this Easter Sunday. I thank you wholeheartedly for watching this video, but my gratitude would be far greater if you came forward and spoke out against such grave injustice, which batters our fellow human beings of our world, even at this very moment. Thank you once again, and good night from my country.